Okay, welcome in everyone. We're going to start here in just a second. I'm just getting all my things together. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. If you are in chats, drop a hello or an emoji or something.
In 2015.
I think I got the chat showing up on screen. So let me know if you can see it. Okay. Actually, could someone unsubscribe and then resubscribe? I want to see if the little Streamlabs thing I made is working. Okay. All right. So hopefully that works. Sorry, I just got a bunch of new stuff here. Nothing happened when I did it. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, we'll have to figure it out later. But let's just hop into the stream then, because I don't want to take up too much time. Okay.
Was an unimaginable day for all of us. 14 people.
And then we transfer that material to an aluminum blank.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have two adjourned memories. The first one is Paul Ramirez of Colton. The passing of a lifetime resident. Paul Ramirez was a proud, decorated veteran who served in the Vietnam
Looks like
War.
They're doing their little
he was a dedicated to service
memorial
throughout the community, and he
thing.
was involved in the local VFWs and Colton Veterans Parade. He was a devoted father who always involved his
I'm just
family in
gonna
activities,
post on
including
my
volunteering
Instagram
at Grant
stories real
Elementary
quick.
School. And he spent a lot of time with his grandkids. He graduated from San Marino Valley College, was a lab technician at Portland Cement for over 47 years. Paul leaves behind his loving family with Delilah, 2 daughters, 7 grandchildren, and 1 great-granddaughter. He will sorely be missed, and he was just very, very active in the Colton community. And the second aim is a little more personal for me. This one is Beatrice Jews. Beatrice Jews was a behavioral health commissioner who just recently passed a few weeks ago. She was a resident of Rialto. I had the opportunity to attend her 80th birthday party. She was 83 years of age when she passed. But also her granddaughter was my student, Natalie Jews, at Rialto High School in U.S. history. but she was just a great woman, great human being, well respected by the community. She was very involved with the Inland Empire Concerned African American Churches, served as a secretary and health person for 27 years. She dedicated her time to many projects in underserved community throughout San Bernardino County. Ms. Drews was with the late Jimmy Drews, was actually a personal friend of my father, and the first African-American firefighter and captain in the city of San Bernardino. She was devoted to her daughter, Natalie, and two of her grandchildren. Our community mourns her passing, and my staff will be attending her funeral, which is concurrent with our meeting. I had the opportunity to attend her viewing yesterday, so heart goes out to the Drews family. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Supervisor Armendariz.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry.
Thank you,
let's
Madam
do
Chair.
little
There's a
2x
one in
speed on it.
particular person I'd like to adjourn in memory. Helen Patterson, who was born in 1929, lifelong resident of San Bernardino County. For over 30 years, she lived in the same home, San Bernardino County. She's survived by 5 daughters, 2 sons, 26 grandchildren, me being one of them.
Oh my goodness.
78
Oh,
grandchildren. and
He's
58
really
great-grandchildren.
making
Like to
it's
adjourn memory of her.
a heartbreaking thing for him. I'm sorry,
Thank you,
Mr.
Supervisor Cook.
Armendariz.
Okay, and I would like to adjourn in memory of Seth Franklin. Seth started his career with San Bernardino County Sheriff, and he moved on to Desert Hot Springs, and then he ended his career when, fortunately, he succumbed to melanoma with the Redlands Police Department. He leaves behind his wife, Ashley, and his 2 young sons, Ronan and Ryan, who are ages 2 and 4. We have 2 special presentations this morning, so if my colleagues will please join me in the well.
Okay, I think we're just going to skip past this because I think
So in Preschool Services Department, she began her
good
career
for her.
with the
24
county
years
as
in
a
preschool
teacher.
department. All right.
Portable items from closed session.
We'll now move on to our
Okay.
report.
I think we are going to get into the meat now.
We will now move on to our reports from County Council. Tom?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no reportable items from closed session.
All right, and our reports from our CEO, Luther.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nothing to report this morning.
Good.
Nothing
Up
to
next, our
report as
individual board member
usual.
comments. We'll start with Vice Chair Baca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to thank the Public Works Department for the great work they did near Newmark Elementary School, which is in the Arrowhead Farms community, unincorporated part near Cajon High School. What they did, they invested about $1.2 million to add sidewalks, ADA ramps, which were directly across the school, which had never had sidewalks. So just want to thank them for their great work. Had the opportunity to attend the 13th Annual EMT and Tactical Medical Expo. I want to thank Andrew Goldfrack and the entire team, the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, to really expose our high school juniors and seniors to the field of either law enforcement, public safety, and medical services. And it's just a great opportunity for our students throughout the region to ask questions and think about a career in either the county, government, or any type of public safety thing. So it's just a great work for the community. I want to thank Public Works for the great work they did in the Devil Creek Canyon cleanup. It's one of our flood channels located in unincorporated San Bernardino. They did a great job cleaning it up, so just want to thank them for their response. I just want to give a shout out for all administrative professionals. I know that April 23rd was Administrative Professional Day. I want to thank all the admin that do great work throughout our county, and personally thank, our staff, Jessica Avina, who does a great job in our office. And last week had the opportunity to attend Take Your Child to Work Day. Just think about it. We have over close to 25,000 employees in this county, and it was just great to see all the departments here bringing their children here, sharing experiences, and spending the day and really doing bonding. I think that's important for morale for our staff, but just the opportunity for their children to see what their mothers, and fathers, and grandfathers and grandmothers do at work. I think it's just a good experience, and I'm glad that the county continues to, participate in the event. It's just very, very exciting. The other thing is this past weekend we had a Earth Day cleanup in unincorporated Bloomington and the Muscoy community. We had over 300 volunteers. The 5th District has. Applications are now open for next juniors and seniors next year. And I want to highlight 3 items on the agenda. Item 26, it's a $1.4 million investment of 5th District discretionary money in a real-time crime lab for the Rialto Police Department. City of Rialto is in the process of building a new police station, which they hadn't had one since the 1960s. So this will help provide
City
the
of
technology
Rialto,
to
really?
help suppress crime in the city of Rialto. It's a great event. And then also item 53, just want to thank our public works staff for the Glen Helen Parkway Bridge over Cajon Wash. This is about a $52 million project, which is great. So this is important for the Devore community, the Rosina Ranch community, but also important for our concerts that we have at the Glen Helen Amphitheater. So this will improve traffic. This is a long project, a long-term project, but a great investment. And just want to highlight item 57. This is an investment in Rule 20A money, which is money given from Southern California Edison to make investments to underground. The father, who's a Colton resident, Rudy Ramirez, was
Wait,
just
hold on.
recognized
Why
in
did
Washington,
why was that
D.C.
look busted?
Father, who's a California Edison, to make investments to underground. The father, who's a Colton resident.
Why did it
Rudy
skip
Ramirez
like that?
just
That was so
around,
weird.
The father, who's a Colton
That's so weird. The stream must have dropped out for a second. How it just skipped like that.
Edison, to make investments to underground. The father, who's a
Yeah, weird.
Colton
Okay.
resident, Rudy Ramirez, was just recognized in Washington, D.C. for his service.
IEF design build a great outcome. We had a lot of how those boots on the ground are really affecting our community. I think they were able to house 16 people.
Okay, cool. Thank you for highlighting that.
I just want to mention.
Oh, all right. Our favorite Board of Supervisors.
First of all, we have a huge crowd today. I just want to mention one of the best parts.
There's a huge
of
crowd.
this
Why?
job for me is where, we bring somebody up that has worked for X amount of years, and we pay recognition. Hopefully, their family, friends, or what have you. I don't know who started that. Somebody, but I think that is. I don't know. It just to be part of an organization that never forgets the people that gave so much of their time and effort to the county. I think
Right. Marcella's right with the rare earth minerals.
My hats on. I don't wear a hat. And other than that, I just wanted to thank my colleagues. Sometimes I'm kind of a pain in a meeting because I'm always asking them for an explanation of this, and what does this mean? I'm a slow learner, but we've got a great staff, and far too often I don't think we acknowledge the ones that help us on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, troops. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And a couple different events coming up in the past. First of all, this week, starting tomorrow, is the SCAG Annual General Assembly out in Palm Desert.
He is old.
Include as president this week. We really enjoyed the year. It was a record-making year for SCAG. A bunch of issues we had to deal with and still going.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that SCAG means Southern California Association of Local Governments or something like that.
We had our 5K run on the runway.
Okay,
and with all
I'm
the money raised
glad
going
that they
to
ran on the
Cemetery
runway. Let's just get to the board. Let's get to what's
I'd
on.
like to highlight item number 53.
Wait, what did she say about National Day of Prayer?
Last weekend.
It is. It's a busy time. I'd like to thank our county staff for all that they did for Take Your Child to Work Day. Lots of happy kids, lots of fun swag, and lots of experiences that hopefully those kids will take home for consideration for the future. So thank you for everybody that put all the time and effort into that. May 1st is National Day of Prayer. And I would also like to highlight item number 53 as our vice chair.
Wow,
said.
that's so
The-
interesting. She said she made a point to point out that May 1st is a National Day of Prayer, or is the National Day of Prayer. You know what else takes place on May 1st? Chat, do you know what takes place on May 1st? I know some of you probably went to some rallies, but May 1st is also not Labor Day. Hold on. Now I'm blanking. May Day. Thank you. May 1st is May Day, and that is in support of workers all across the world. Marcella said she only knows May the 4th. Yeah, well, we're going to get there, and then we could definitely do May the 4th be with you. For all our Star Wars nerds out there. Okay, so yeah, why would she have to shout that out. That's
Four
hilarious.
residents have a nickname for it, which I won't repeat here, but it is a great bridge that is hopefully going somewhere. And we really appreciate all the work that goes into this, and we are excited for that. So thank you. The bridge
You
to
think she
somewhere.
could have, shouted out May Day?
And now we will move on to our agenda. Lina?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. We have two changes for today's agenda. Item number 61. Item number 61 is being taken off calendar, and item number 91 is being revised as follows. The item is revised to remove recommendations 1C and 1D, and recommendation number 1E is renumbered to 1C.
Oh my
Those
goodness,
are the
it's so
changes I have.
I'm gonna have you
technical.
repeat that for me. so I
Yes,
can write
thank
it
you.
down.
Repeat it.
Okay, so
Item-
this is 91.
Item
Thank you.
91 is revised to remove recommendations 1C and 1D, and recommendation 1E is renumbered to 1C.
Authorize the Director of Real Estate Service
Okay,
Department
thank
to
you very much. Thank you.
execute
All right, if any board
amendment number
members
2.
have a conflict of interest, now would be the time to disclose it.
Wait. We need to go back to
any
hear
board-
what the clerk of the
Okay,
board said.
Thank you very much.
C. Recommendation 1C
Okay.
and 1D.
Item 91
to
is
remove recommendations 1C and 1D,
okay.
and recommendation 1E is renumbered to 1C.
Okay. All right. Okay. So they're taking off number 91, 1, section 1, and C. And it says authorize the Director of Real Estate Services Department to execute amendment number 2 to Revenue Sublease Agreement number 21-183 only upon the county's receipt of the United States Army Corps of Engineers written approval, subject to the county council. Yeah, I know. Thank you, Marcella. I hope they didn't get rid of anything. It always sounds, it's a little sus when they're like, I'm taking this off. And then direct the Director of Real Estate Service Department to transmit amendment number 2 to Revenue Sublease Agreement number 1. And then E is the only one that's staying. Direct the Real Estate Service Department to file a notice of exemption in accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act. That's weird. So what is this about? Approve one of the two following options regarding the subleasing of the golf course facility at Prado Regional Park in Chino. Oh, so they're going to do something to Prado Park. Or they want to direct the Director of Real Estate Services to file a notice of exemption in accordance to the California Environmental Quality Act. So I wonder if there is something that is happening at Prado Regional Park that is not going well with the California Environmental Quality Act. That is interesting. We will have to look into that. I'll do some digging on that, but let's continue.
Okay, thank you. Conflict of interest, now would be the time to disclose it.
Do they have any conflicts
All
of
right,
interest?
seeing none, we'll move on to our consent calendar, which today consists of items number 2 through 88. And we have a number of folks wishing to speak. Do I have any board members wishing to pull an item for discussion? Comment? All right, we will begin with Elaine Jones, followed by Christy Bethel.
Man, they're just hopping right into it. Let's see.
There are 2 podiums on either side in the back, and whichever one you're closest to. Thank you. You'll have 3 minutes. When the light flashes yellow, that's the 30-second reminder.
Hi, yes, my name is Elaine Jones. I'm here as part of One Legacy. I'm a volunteer, and April's National Donate Life Month. I am actually a 2-time living donor. I'm from Fontana, California. I was able to donate my right kidney to my uncle at Erica Community Hospital. And then
That's
some
awesome.
years later, I was able to donate part of my liver to a 9-month-old baby girl.
Wow,
So I just share my
donated
story
so
to try
much.
to
Good for her.
inspire others to be organ donors. I know it takes a lot to be a living donor like myself, but you always have the opportunity to be a donor on your driver's license to get that pink dot and have the opportunity to potentially save many lives. I'm sorry, I'm rushed. I'm sorry about that, but Every day, there's about 10 people added to the transplant list, and everyone can make a change and make a difference if you're able to. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Christy Bethel, followed by Danielle Taveras.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to be here in San Bernardino with all of the constituents here. On behalf of One Legacy, we are a federally funded
What is One
nonprofit organ
Legacy, and
procurement
why are they
organization.
here
We want to
talking?
thank San Bernardino County for issuing a proclamation this April in honor of Donate Life Month. And so One Legacy partners with hospitals and DMVs throughout the state of California. We have only 21% of the people that go into the DMV offices here in San Bernardino County. Only 21% say yes to organ, eye, and tissue donation. As a result of that, one of the leaders here at the DMV in Fontana hosted the first resource fair for not only participants at the DMV customers, but also for individuals that work in the resource center or work in the DMV to be able to have access to community resources. So we are very fortunate to partner with the County of Public Health with many of the same services that your peers have attended events this week.
Years ago.
I'm sorry,
I
I'm
did not know that
skipping
he
through.
was an organ donor until after he passed away.
I
think a lot of
totally think the point they're trying to make is if you register as an organ donor, then that saves lives. So
2025-1, which is the Commerce Center 2, being presented this morning by Noel Castillo. I have a motion from Vice Chair Baca, a second from Supervisor Hagman. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. With that, the consent calendar is approved with item 61 off calendar.
Thank you very much.
oh wait, what
Our
was
discussion-
item 61 off calendar? That's weird. Why would they kick it off? Why do they always do this? Okay. Item 61, find that approval of license agreement with ATC Ponderosa KLLC, a Delaware limited liability company for antenna and rack space, is an exempt project under the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. Man, so these are two things that they're like, what is up with this California Environmental Quality Act? And why is San Bernardino County struggling to get in line with it? Okay.
Calendar today, we will
took
begin
it
with
off.
item number 89, which is a public hearing for the proposed formation of the Community Facilities District number 2025-1, which is the Commerce Center 2, being presented this morning by Noel Castillo. Good morning. And I will open the public hearing.
What item was
Good
it?
morning, board members. Noel Castillo, Director of the Department of Public Works.
Oh.
Next slide, please. The public hearing today is to consider the formation of a Community Facilities District number 2025-1 and the proposed levy of
I'm sorry, I gotta go back and
By
hear what the item
number, we
number.
will begin with item number 89, which is a
89.
25-1. Noel
Let me see.
Castillo, Director of the Department of Public Works.
Oh, nice to meet you, Mr.
Next slide,
Castillo.
please. Number 2, facility BC, form a CFD to operate and maintain the infrastructure for the development. The landowners also submitted a petition asking the county to form a CFD. On March 25th, 2025, the county adopted Resolution 2025-163, declaring the Board of Supervisors' intent to establish a CFD. Next slide. A CFD report is in accordance with the Miller Roos Act describing the CFD, has been prepared by Webb Municipal Finance, which outlines the proposed service to be financed by the CFD and the proposed rate and method of apportionment for the CFD. The report is included in the board's agenda packet and entered into the official record of this public hearing. Next slide. The proposed boundary map of the Community Facilities District 2025-1 defines Zones 1 and its future annexation area for SBC Speedway development and Zone 2 for the NASCAR development. The SBC Speedway project is divided into two phases, with the second phase being a future annexation area. Next slide.
Wait, I feel like they talked about this last
CFD
meeting.
2025-1 will fund, among other things, maintenance of public infrastructure, including roads, curb, gutter, sidewalk, landscaping, flood protection, drainage, sewer systems, graffiti and debris removals, and maintenance of the operational needs associated with the Commerce Center development. The cost per acre for services in Zone 1 is $9,299.85, and in Zone 2 is $4,649.93, totaling an annual cost of just over $3 million. If actual services costs are lower than the estimated assessment of each parcel, may be reduced due to the option of the ordinance authorizing the levy of special taxes, approval of temporary main fund in
I do not have any requests to speak from the public at this time. Do I have any board members with questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Thank you for the motion, Supervisor Hagman, and the second, Vice Chair Baca. This is for recommendations 1, 5, and 6.
What?
That is
Correct? Okay, very good. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. The resolution we just adopted forms the CFD 2025 and calls for the landowner election within the CFD, which is to be held at this time. So now I will turn it over to the clerk for her to announce the results.
I'm
Sorry,
so
Madam Chair,
confused.
review
But
the
okay.
ballots. Just a moment.
How many ballots are there? What was this? What did they vote on? Oh my goodness.
Landowner election for CFD number 2025-1.
Wait.
All ballots have been cast in connection with the landowner election for CFD number 2025-1.
Landowner election.
The results of said election, which includes the number of votes cast for and against Proposition A and B, was unanimous in favor of both propositions. We may move forward.
Okay, so the next vote that we need to take is to certify the election results, and that is number items 7 and 8. Thank you, Vice
Oh
Chair.
my goodness. Hold on. There's a lot of things I don't know about here, and we're going to try to learn about them together. My apologies. She said items numbers 1 through 5. Items number 7 and 8. Approve revenue provider service agreement with Physician Health Network, including non-standard terms for the provision of outpatient healthcare services to Inland Empire Health Plans, Medicare managed care members. Whoa. Hold on. Approve revenue provider service agreement with Physician Health Network, including non-standard terms for the provision of outpatient healthcare services to Inland Empire Health Plans Medi-Cal managed care members, retroactively effective January 1st, 2025. Direct the clerk of the Board of Supervisors to maintain the confidentiality of the revenue provider service agreement pursuant to Health and Safety Code 1457. Oh my God. Presenter Andrew Goldfrack, AMC Chief Executive Officer. So it sounds like they made a deal. But I don't know what this deal was on, and I don't know why they had to vote on it. And like why it's Okay, let's just continue watching.
For the motion and Supervisor Hagman for the second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, and then our
That doesn't
last
make sense to
motion.
me. Okay, I'm a bit confused. Only one, because I have a little bit of experience with these managed Medi-Cal plans, as I used to work at ARMC. So that's kind of my bias, if there is one being shown right now, that I was a former employee of ARMC. But that was like 4 years ago at this point. I think I started in like 2021 or something, and then left by 22. So yeah, approve agreement. Oh wait, there's something about Epic too. Approve the agreement with Epic Nexus Inc. Epic, I know for sure, is their that's like their it's their software that does all the tracking of patients and all like all that stuff, so when the doctors are like, I'm going to look up your chart or whatever, or I'm going to make an appointment for you, that's what they're going through. It's through Epic. So if you're a patient at ARMC, you guys may remember that right during the pandemic, that's when they started implementing this Epic. Okay. So including approve agreement with Epic for the participation in the Quality Health Information Network to exchange health information via the Trusted Exchange Framework and Common Agreement and Health Information Network, sponsored by the Office of the National Coordinator of Health Information Technology, for a not to exceed the amount of $39,000 annually. Simultaneously terminating agreement number 25-21, effective on the date of the execution, will remain in effect until terminated by either party. Weird. Yeah, electronic medical record. Thank you. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. So it sounds like they had to either renew a deal with this company and yeah. It's just weird how it seems like this to exchange health information via the Trusted Exchange Framework and Common Agreement, a health information network sponsored by the Office of okay, blah blah blah. So that's weird. Okay. Approve the agreement with Sonfi Pasteur Inc. included non-standard terms for the purchase of influenza vaccines for $350,000. Okay, so they're going to get some flu vaccines. That's
It
good.
would be recommendations 2, 3, and 4.
That is correct.
Thank you, Vice Chair Baca. And second, Supervisor Hagman. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any
Damn,
abstentions?
it just like I'm so sorry. Hold up. It's just they're talking about a lot of money here. Because I mean, $350,000 for some influenza vaccines. And oh my gosh, okay, approve the service contract with Zynehem Imaging for the maintenance of medical imaging surgical equipment, increasing the total contract amount to $132,000 from, oh man, this is complicated. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot of money. All right, man, there's a lot of ARMC stuff on here. So number 10, accept and approve the revisions of policies in the Critical Care Policies and Procedure Manual, included with summarized attachments A through C. Weird. Approve the increased funding allocations for following master service agreement with Stericycle. Okay, Stericycle is to in the aggregated amount of $400,000. Wow, this is, like I said, this be a lot of money. All right, let's just continue listening then.
Chair, with that, the item passes.
They
unanimously.
just
Very well.
all
Thank you very
right.
much. All right. Item number 90 is a public hearing to consider the annexation of assessor parcel number 3064-471-04-0000 into the Community Facilities District number 94-01, which is in the city of Hesperia, for fire suppression services, being presented this morning by Corey Nelson. And before I open the public hearing, are there any property owners or persons registered to vote in the Community Facilities District that are here today?
No. Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have the ballots here with me. So
Any-
move forward.
Okay. If they are here, then they would wish to file their written protest with you now, correct?
Correct.
Very good. I will open the public hearing.
Morning, Chair Rao, members of the board. Corey Nelson, Deputy Chief of Business Operations for County Fire. This item is a public hearing to consider annexation into CFD 9401.
Corey, can I have you speak a little bit closer to the microphone, please?
Sure. This item is a public hearing to consider annexation into CFD 9401 in Hesperia. The owners are developing a 3.52 acre parcel near the intersection of Main Street and Catawba Road in the city of Hesperia into a commercial property. The city's conditions of approval require the owners to annex into the CFD for the purpose of financing ongoing fire suppression services. The projected annual amount of revenue from the special tax on this APN will be approximately
All right, we're skipping past this.
Resolutions before you are to adopt a resolution for a special mail ballot election and adopt a resolution that declares the results, adopt those
Wait,
various
never mind.
requirements. Next slide, please. Necessary forms.
Kim and Jung-hee Kim are developing assessor parcel number blah 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 near the intersection of Main Street and Catawba Road in the city of Hesperia into a commercial property. Okay, so it seems like they're changing it from residential property to commercial property, and they have to change the fire, or they have to update the fire code, or the code, or fire codes are different for businesses versus residential, is what I'm trying to say. Okay.
That request the annexation and waives various requirements. Next slide, please. This slide is the boundary map that shows the parcel and project location. and Terry
I'll caucus for the motion and tabulate the results of the election and then announce the results.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I open the ballots, I do need to disclose on the record that one of the ballots was inadvertently opened when it arrived in my office. However, the
What?
contents were not reviewed, and the envelopes were immediately resealed. County Council was consulted, and I was advised that due to the nature of the election, it's deemed acceptable to move forward with today's action.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is so weird. The ballot arrived in my office opened, and I immediately saw it open, but I resealed it. I don't get it. Like, that doesn't seem official. Like, whose ballot was it? I would be mad if my ballot was opened and then resealed.
So, Madam Chair, one of the ballots was returned, and the vote was not indicated yes or no. The vote was left blank on one of the ballots. So I would defer to County Council as to how to move forward.
Unfortunately, we have precedent for this. This happened before, and I believe before what we decided to do is to give them another opportunity and to continue the hearing, and give them an opportunity to actually submit a vote. So that would be my recommendation again.
I have a motion to continue from Supervisor Hagman, a second from Vice Chair Baca.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if I could, Supervisor Hagman, I'm not certain that because the next board meeting is next week, I don't know that we would have time to get the ballot sent out.
Why does she keep pressing
We could
this?
submit it possibly for the May 20th? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you very much. With that, the item is continued to May 20th.
Very good. Thank you very much. Item number 91 is subleasing the golf course facility at Prado Regional Park in Chino, being presented this morning by Terry Thompson. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Chair Rao and board members. Terry Thompson, Director of Real Estate Services.
Oh, hey, we were just
So
talking
the
about
item
him,
that we're
huh?
discussing
Okay,
here
cool.
is to determine whether to continue lease negotiations with the existing operator or to open the negotiations to a RFP. Before I get started,
My God, what is RFP?
want to note that the reason for the modification to the item was that this past Friday, the Army Corps of Engineers did approve the lease terms with the existing operator. So background on the item. On February 11th, 2025, the board by a 4/5 vote authorized the county's Real Estate Services Department to use an alternative procedure under county policy number 12-05 to waive the policy's use of competitive procedure solicitation proposals and utilize government code section 25536A to negotiate directly with the existing operator of El Prado Golf Course, El Prado Development LLC. The board's direction was to determine whether or not the parties could arrive at a long-term market lease deal and present its findings on April 29th, 2025. To determine market lease
This is
value and
weird.
terms, RESD commissioned a third-party real estate services firm, Avis & Young, to perform a broker opinion of value, BOV, in determining the market lease value. The principals with Avis & Young who conducted the BOV have extensive experience and expertise in valuing golf courses, including involvement in over 150 golf course transactions.
Thank you.
throughout the United
RFP is
States,
request
58 of
for
which
proposal.
were in California, including several in the Inland Empire. Status: RESD received the BOV report on March 26, 2025. The BOV recommended minimum long-term market lease terms for a prospective operator of El Prado Golf Course. In April, the recommended minimum long-term market lease terms were presented to El Prado Development LLC in a non-binding letter of intent LOI. On April 19, 2025, RESD received El Prado Development LLC's signed acceptance of the LOI. The summary of the accepted lease terms in accordance with the BOV's market recommendations are as follows. Lease term, 22 years commencing September 1, 2025 and expiring August 31, 2047. Base rent, $11,000 per month with 4% annual increases. Required repair and maintenance R&M upgrades. Requires significant R&M upgrades to be made by El Prado Development LLC to the existing property within the initial 24 months of the lease term, including the golf courses, existing facilities, and common areas. Per the BOV, the cost of the R&M upgrades are estimated at $4.1 million. Required ongoing capital investment. Beginning on month 37 of the lease term, the operator is required to invest a minimum of $100,000 annually in property and golf course operations to maintain the quality of the golf courses, golf course operations, facilities, and common areas. That $100,000 investment shall increase by 5% annually. Additional percentage rent. Beginning on month 61 of the lease term, El Prado Development LLC shall begin paying the county 3% of all taxable sales. In addition to the base rent, taxable sales include green fee revenue, golf cart revenue, driving range revenue, membership dues, food and beverage revenue, and any conference event revenue. Additional intent improvements. Over and above the required R&M upgrades estimated in the BOV to be at $4.1 million, El Prado Development LLC, at their sole cost and expense, intends to submit plans to expand the existing facilities. Any additional TIs require the review and approval of the county, the United States Army Corps of Engineers, and the City of Chino. Any approved TI plans that result in any construction would be at the sole cost and expense of El Prado Development LLC. Next step. In accordance with the board's direction, on February 11, 2025, the board can elect to do one of the following. 1, proceed with this long-term market lease deal with El Prado Development LLC by 4/5 vote approval in accordance with Government Section 25536A, or 2, authorize staff to initiate an open and competitive RFP process for this property. That concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Oh, let's see what they're going to do. Are they going to let
Thank you very
the
much. I have a
current
couple of
owners
questions
keep
for
it?
you. I don't know if any of our other board members do before we take public comment. Actually, let's just go to public comment since I seem to not be as organized as I'd hoped this morning.
Oh,
We
wow.
will start
Let's
with
see
our
what public
comments.
says.
Each speaker will have 3 minutes at either podium on either side. When the light flashes yellow, it will indicate 30 seconds left, and then red at the end of the 3 minutes. Our first speaker is David Koyman, who will be followed by Danny Ortiz.
Well, dang, they got
Good
a
morning,
photographer
supervisors.
there.
Just 2 days ago, I attended the memorial service of one of my best friend's fathers. During that service, he shared something simple but powerful, a reminder that we're all taught the difference between right and wrong. Most of us learn that from our parents, our churches, and our schools. And when something doesn't feel right, we're supposed to speak up. Supervisor Cook, I want to thank you. On February 11, you recognized that something didn't feel right, and you said it clearly. If we're going to adjudicate this golf course, I want to make sure we do it right. You voted no. You listened to the group gathered in green in the center council here, and you listened. That matters, so thank you. Since that day,
Wow,
more information
that's
has come
high
out,
praise
and
for
frankly,
Mr.
the smell
Paul
hasn't
Cook.
gotten any better. The phrase "something smells" has come up again and again in our
What
meetings with other
smells?
supervisors. To Supervisors Rowe, Baca, and Amenderis, thank you. Thank you for meeting with us, asking thoughtful questions, and listening, not only to Eric and I's concerns, but to those of the taxpayers. Supervisor Hagman, we tried to meet with you. We wanted to address your comment from our first meeting in January, when you said you had only met the current operator a couple times. We all now know this isn't true.
What?
So today, we're asking you to
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry, the stream's kind of crashing. Did he say? Okay, so Kurt Hagman, it seems like this gentleman is accusing. Yes, Paul Cook is a great recurring character, but it seems like maybe he did something good. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
asking you to do the right thing. Remove yourself from the February 11 vote. Without your vote, that motion fails. This conversation wouldn't even be happening today if the lease had gone out to bid like it should have. Also, please recuse yourself from any future votes involving your personal attorney and friend, the same individual you appointed to a county position just before he secured 2 non-competitive land deals. We've heard your explanation. Quote, the county does this all the time. End quote.
What?
But based on our conversations with the other supervisors, that's simply not the case in their districts. So today, we respectfully ask the board on item number 91, choose integrity, choose transparency, vote for option 2. Let the county's real estate professionals and Parks and Rec do their job, and let's put the lease out to bid. Thank you.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, hold on. Oh, I did not know where this gentleman is coming from. Yeah, thank you. Marcella said something strange smells. Oh, did I say that wrong? Something smells strange. I'm sorry. Okay, so, all right. So it sounds like Mr. Kurt Hagman, that's this gentleman over here. He's right next to Paul Cook. Sounds like, so like whatever they need to get this to pass, it has to be at least 4 out of 5 of them. And I think it was only Cook who voted no because he was concerned. And okay. All right. So, let's look at this Prado Regional Park thing, and I don't know who his friend is. Who this guy? Okay, let's hear what Mr. Danny Ortiz has to say. Maybe they're going to continue the story.
Ortiz, who will be followed by, excuse me.
Oh no, they're gonna get mad that they're clapping.
It's very hard to hear. If I could ask you to keep it to a minimum in here. So Danny Ortiz followed by Julia Cabrera.
Okay.
All right,
Good
you're
morning,
right. It is
Supervisors.
getting
My name is
interesting
Danny
now.
Ortiz, and I am proud to serve as the president of the El Prado Men's Club. I'm here today on behalf of our board and our membership to express our strong support for the current leadership at the El Prado golf courses and to urge the county to finalize their lease extension. Since the
Wow, we
change
have
in
people
ownership,
speaking on
we
both
have seen
sides
a
of the
dramatic
issue.
shift, not only in the condition of the golf course, but in the relationship between course leadership and our club. The new ownership has made a visible commitment to improving the course conditions, cleaning up neglected areas, and restoring pride in a space that means so much to our community. But more importantly, they've shown up. They've been present. They've sat with us. They listened to us and worked with us to support the needs of our club. The kind of leadership, that kind of leadership matters. It fosters stability, transparency, and a strong sense of partnership, which we value greatly as a club. A few weeks ago, many of our members came together and signed a petition in support of their lease extension. We submitted this petition because we believe their continued leadership is not just for our club, it is good for the entire golf community and for the San Bernardino County. We're looking forward to a strong partnership for years to come. We respectfully ask that the county support this lease extension so that the progress we've all witnessed can continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Julia Cabrera, who will be followed by Edward Ornelas.
Damn, looks like the Daily Bulletin actually covered this story. Good for them.
Good morning, Chair and board members. On behalf of the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce Legislative Advocacy Committee, we respectfully express our support to the current ownership at El Prado Golf Courses. Prior to the current ownership, El Prado did not maintain an active relationship with the Chamber or the broader business community. Since taking over, the new leadership at El Prado has made a concerted effort to change that. They proactively reached out to the Chamber to explore ways to explore better connection of the golf course to the community and revitalize its role as a local gathering place. They hosted a mixer for our Chamber and our broader community, and their outreach demonstrates a genuine commitment to strengthening ties with residents, businesses, and visitors alike. We believe it is important to recognize and support El Prado's ownership for their proactive efforts to engage with the Chamber and the broader community. Their commitment to building a strong relationship with the Chino Valley Chamber exemplifies the type of partnership that benefits our entire region and that we seek to encourage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Edward Ornelas, who will be followed by Peggy Hazlitt.
Good morning, supervisors. My name is Edward Ornelas, current president of the Inland Empire Regional Chamber of Commerce. Since El Prado Golf Courses came under new ownership, they became members of the Inland Empire Regional Chamber of Commerce. And it's been a great working relationship from the start. Upon joining, ownership invited me for a full tour of the property. At that time, I had never set foot on the premises before.
Yeah, it
And
is
frankly,
golf
many of our
drama,
members
big
in the
golf
Inland
drama.
Empire and Riverside area had also never set foot on the property as well. Ownership made it clear that they had a long journey ahead, but they were transparent, motivated, and excited about what was possible. And so was I after learning of their vision. Just 2 months ago, one of our chamber members hosted a very successful charity golf tournament, raising funds for a Veterans with Disability nonprofit organization. Staff was very easy to work with and extremely accommodating. My experience in working with them has led me to come back for more. For example, since they joined the regional chamber, El Prado has hosted several events with us, both in their indoor facilities and golf course, including an economic forecast conference, which was attended by the California State Treasurer. Due to the El Prado team's dedication of bringing much needed regional awareness to the site, many of our members across the region are now aware of El Prado, and several are actively considering the property for future events. The transformation under this new leadership has positioned El Prado as a standout venue in the Western Inland Empire, something that was not the case previously. I fully support their continued growth and sincerely hope the county will take into account the momentum they've built and the community partnerships they're fostering. El Prado and its current leadership has been an asset to our chamber, and I look forward to continuing our relationship and seeing their vision unfold. I respectfully ask the Board of Supervisors to continue supporting their current leadership and allow El Prado to move forward without disruption. Thank you.
That's so weird. I don't understand
followed
what
by Frank
happened.
Lazzaraga.
What happened with current leadership?
Peggy Hazlitt, President and CEO of the Greater Ontario Business Council. I come before you today not only as the CEO of the Greater Ontario Business Council, where we moved our annual golf tournament, Heroes Wear Helmets, to El Prado this past September of 2024. The accommodations at El Prado, we saw the change. But I'm a golfer. So I'll tell you, as a golfer, I was just impressed with the changes that they have made to the facility. But from a non-golfer's perspective, my vice chair, Tim Howe from Amazon, and also Ahmad Mohammed from Kaiser Permanente, they ran my golf tournament from the other side because I was out on that course. And they said the team that they worked with El Prado, was accommodating. The food was amazing. They were able to seamlessly move us from our taco bar at lunch to our steak and lobster at dinner. So if you are not just a golfer, go to the facility. The accommodations that they had, the changes that they are making to the facility are above par. No pun intended there. So, as the Greater Ontario Business Council,
If only I knew what par was in
will
golf,
make El
I don't
Prado our
know.
choice for our annual Heroes Wear Helmets golf tournament. Respectfully, we ask that you continue this relationship with the current management team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Frank Lizarraga, followed by Richard Lizarraga.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, staff. My name is Frank Lizarraga. I'm a managing principal and member of El Prado Development, LLC, which is the current sublessee of the El Prado golf courses. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for your efforts and assistance in improving and adopting on February 11th of this year the resolution pursuant to County Policy 12-05, which precluded moving forward with an RFP, and had Terry Thompson, the Director of Real Estate Services Department, to negotiate the terms of the extension of the existing sublease agreement. As the board knows, Policy 12-05 has existed for a number of years as to county regional parkland, such as El Prado golf courses. This policy exists pursuant to the extreme importance of continuity in continuing with an existing sublessee, and very importantly, serving the financial interests of the county. Just as important is the fact that the land in which El Prado Golf Course resides and exists on is also subject to a lease between the county and the Army Corps of Engineers. Terry Thompson and staff has done a very thorough and complete assessment of the terms for continuing the sublease agreement with us for the benefit of the county. Those terms have been agreed by us pursuant to the letter of intent as expressed by Terry Thompson. And I do understand that those terms have also been agreed upon by the Army Corps of Engineers. While it has been the board's understanding and approval on February 11th as to not proceeding with an RFP, doing so would have dire and significant negative financial consequences to the county as to the continued operations of the golf course. And as this board and county staff is aware of, the monthly lease payments are primarily predicated on the revenue that the golf course generates. And the revenue is predicated on the private assets of the golf course that we acquired from the prior ownership. Those assets are primarily the liquor license, the brand new golf carts that we had to acquire, 110 of them, all the existing golf course maintenance equipment for 36 holes, and all the inventory, food and beverage, pro shop golf, and driving range equipment. We also have another very serious issue to resolve because the prior ownership and management failed to utterly upgrade and maintain the facilities, including the 5-acre parking lot. We will lose our insurance policy on July 1st because of the quality and condition of the parking lot. We have set aside currently $600,000 to repair and renovate upon approval by the county of the extension lease agreement. We
Okay,
also,
so I think
as
I kinda
pointed out,
understand
have
what's
set
happening
aside
here,
approximately $4 million
but-
to the upgrade.
That's time.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for mispronouncing your last name.
That's okay.
Our last request to speak that I have is Richard Lizarraga.
Oh, great. Another person. So
Good morning.
the whole family
My
came.
name is Richard Lizarraga. I've been employed at El Prado Golf Courses for past 7 years, and I've also been a long member of the men's club where I served as treasurer for the last 15 years. My last year was last year. I play here many years and witnessed firsthand the highs and lows of this property. Around 2019, when the courses was struggling financially, we lost our full-time superintendent, and for a long time, we only part-time superintendent became aware of the business might not survive out of concern for the future of the property. I reached out to my brother Frank to see if he could help. The conversation ultimately led to the successful purchase of El Prado by new ownership, without whom this place might not have stayed afloat. Since the change in ownership, I have seen complete cultural shift. The pride in leadership now, every department from maintenance to operations have been revitalized. We removed over 60 dead trees, restored greens and fairways that were deteriorating, and begun trimming and cleaning areas that hadn't been touched in decades. The team has acquired newer, more reliable equipment, has led to groundwork for long-term improvements. There's still work to be done, but for the first time in years, the future of El Prado looks promising. I respectfully ask the Board of Supervisors to continue supporting the progress to and allow the current ownership for a long-term lease. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the last request to speak that I have on this agenda item, so we'll bring it back for questions and comments. Terry, did we have to print in our agenda item today? We didn't have to hear it today, the negotiated lease agreement with the current operator. Is that correct? So we've heard from some folks that we haven't been transparent. And to me, it seems like we've been more than transparent by printing the.
We're supposed to speak up.
Wait, sorry. I was doing some research on the side, and I wanted to go back because I was reading this article. I just wanted to get this gentleman's name, since he seemed to be the only person who was calling, making some big claims.
It's left and then read at the end of the 3 minutes. Our first speaker is David Quayman, who will be followed by Danny.
David Quayman. Okay. All right. Again, we did some deep digging, and we found out that this guy speaking is
Ortiz.
This David Quayman guy. Hold on, I want to hear what he says at the beginning.
Good morning,
again.
supervisors. Just 2 days ago, I attended the memorial service of one of my best friend's fathers. During that service, he shared something simple but powerful, a reminder that we're all taught the difference between right and wrong. Most of us learn that from our parents, our churches, and our schools. And when something doesn't feel right, we're supposed to speak up. Supervisor Cook, I want to thank you. On February 11, you recognized that something didn't feel right, and you said it clearly. If we're going to adjudicate this golf course, I want to make sure we do it right. You voted no. You listened to the group gathered in green in the center council here, and you listened. That matters, so thank you.
Okay, all right. So then I found this newspaper, which I don't even really know if it's a newspaper or not, but it is an article from March of this year. It's covering it. So by Marianne Napolis. After a group of 9 individuals asked the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors on February 11th to open the leasing of El Prado Golf Course to a competitive bidding process, the board voted 4-1 to negotiate only with current operator. Okay. The current operator is El Prado Development, LLC, right? So the 4-1, one was our favorite supervisor, Paul Cook. County Supervisor Kirk Hagman said Wednesday that the decision would allow county staff to see if a deal could be made. If we don't reach an agreement by April 29th, which is the day that this live stream that we're currently watching aired, we will go out to an open bid, he said. Mr. Hagman said requests for proposal, RFPs, thank you, are not used on most of the county's continuing lease options. This gives the county a way to renegotiate and determine fair market value to see what improvements the leaseholders will put into the facilities moving forward, he said. The 314-acre golf course at 6555 Pine Avenue in Chino is a part of 2,288 acres of federal land in the Prado Basin leased by the county from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Interesting. El Prado Development LLC acquired the sublease in May of 2023. All right. So, Army Corps of Engineers takes care of the federal land, the bit of federal land that is on Prado Regional Park, and they lease it out to San Bernardino County, and then San Bernardino County leases it out to whoever they want, I guess, and that's what we're discussing here. All right, so El Prado Development LLC has the thing. South Ontario resident Dave Kuhneman, CEO and president of the Arena family of companies and residents sorry, my bad. South Ontario resident David Kuhneman, I'm sorry, I'm saying his name wrong. CEO and president of the Arena family of companies and Chino resident Eric Fisk a commercial real estate broker, submitted a proposal last June to the county. The investors said they had spent the last 10 months meeting with county staff and individual supervisors asking for a competitive bidding process so they can compete for a lease. All right, now we know this man. And I looked up this company. Surprise, surprise. Does this not look like the same gentleman that was just speaking at the Board of Supervisor meeting? Here, wait, let's get a more straight
Since
on
that
face.
day, more information has come out, and frankly, the smell hasn't gotten any better. The phrase "something smells" has come up again and again in our meetings with other supervisors.
Oh, come on.
To Supervisors
lift your
Rowe,
head.
Baca, and Amenderis, thank you. Thank you for meeting with us, asking thoughtful questions, and
He's got
listening, not only to Eric and
some
I's concerns, but to those of the
sapphire
taxpayers.
blue eyes, I think.
Supervisor Hagman, we tried to meet with
Oh, man. Okay, whatever. All right. Dave Kuhnman. So, Skilled Trade Solutions. I don't know what this company does, but I think they, do something. So, I knew it was going to be too good to be true to hear someone actually say, county supervisors, you guys are being bad behind the scenes. No, it just turns out that he's also a businessman, and I think he didn't like that he's not being able to competitively bid on subleasing Prado. So I don't know what he wanted to do with it, but the Board of Supervisors are very well entitled to, pick and choose, or not pick and choose, but to say who they want to, okay. The Board of Supervisors are entitled to spend their time with whoever they want. I feel like homie here, Mr. David Quayman, is upset that he's been putting in all this time to try to get, the land, and they are not going to go with another person. I mean, they're not going to go with his company. They're going to stay with the original company. So that's weird that he would, say, Supervisor Kurt Hagman, you're like buddying up with these people. I don't know. Homie has fishy. Thank you, Marcella. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's him. It's just he has kind of a weird last name, and I don't know if Supervisor Don Rao said it right either, but it sounded like she said Quayman. And, I mean, it's like his last name on here looks like Kool-Aid Man. I mean, Koi Man. So maybe it's pronounced Koyman, and she just kind of said it weird, and it sounded like Quayman. But okay, he literally is the president of this company. Like, I searched up Dave Koyman. Never mind. His name, he goes by Dave here. But when he introduced himself to the Board of Supervisors, he went by David. Okay, so again, we have, people speaking at these things, and they have, they don't seem like just concerned citizens. I don't know where Mr. Koyman lives. I don't know if it's within the, San Bernardino County, but it's like he's there speaking on something, looking, wait, is this shirt he's wearing, does it have his like business logo on it? No. So yeah, he's definitely just coming as a citizen. All right. Okay. So now we figured that out. Sorry. Had to do some I believe this is what journalists call the gumshoeing. Hopefully I am doing gumshoeing correctly. It's like digital gumshoeing, and it's just literally looking up the weird newspapers called Chino Valley Champion, serving Chino and Chino Hills since 1887. I live pretty near Chino, the city of Chino and Chino Hills, and this is the first time. But then again, I haven't picked up a newspaper in probably 15 years now. So, all my news reading actually happens online. So, okay. So, you know what? Marianne Napoli's, I'm going to look her up real quick because this is a really good story, or at least it helps. It gave me a lot of vital information, which, oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Good for you, ma'am. All you. Chino Hills champion writer Marianne Napoli's won 2 awards in 2015 California Newspaper Publisher Association. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. So, gumshoe to gumshoe, stream to stream. Let's continue.
With you. We wanted to address your comment from our first meeting in January when you said you had only met the current operator a couple times. We all now know this isn't true. So today we're asking you to do the right thing. Remove yourself from the February 11 vote. Without your vote, that motion fails. This conversation wouldn't even be happening today if the lease had gone out to bid like it should have. Also, please recuse yourself from any future votes involving your personal attorney and
much about golf courses. Now I know an awful lot about golf courses. And well, no, I'm going to thank you. So I had no idea. And thank you to Supervisor Cook also for the, what does the BOV stand for? Broker's Opinion of Value?
Broker opinion of value, yes.
So that is what someone that is independent and not connected to this other than their golf background and expertise comes in and tells us what they believe this is valued and what would be a good value for the
I don't
county to
understand
get.
why
That's
the
correct. Broker opinion value, also known BOV, that is
okay. Again, another freaking acronym. BOV. BOV is the broker's POV. No, it's not. It's a broker opinion of value. So I guess kind of like a POV. Whatever. Okay, so yeah. If the Army Corps of Engineers technically owns the land, why is San Bernardino County getting a third? Okay.
It's a real
It just
estate
doesn't make
industry,
sense.
you know, common term.
How much
when
does
you seek a
the
broker's
how much
opinion,
does the
market
Army Corps of
expertise
Engineers
opinion
lease
on a
the
value of a
county
given
this land
property? It
for?
could be any property. This is a unique property in that it's a golf course, and so we needed to seek third-party expertise in order to help us ascertain the value.
Yeah, thank you for that, Paul. I appreciate that. So once we have that, then there were no negotiated terms that the current leaseholder accepted that, correct?
We put forth the terms that were recommended in the BOV to the existing operator, and yes, they accepted them as proposed.
So then in part of my research too, I look at when do we do sole source and in what instances and why do we go out for RFPs, because that seems like a natural best thing to happen. And in the course of my research on this project, the current leaseholder took over from someone else mid-lease. Is that accurate?
Not mid-lease, but towards the end
Towards
of
the
their
end.
lease, approximately 5 years ago.
When I met with the group, that they were frustrated that more investment hadn't been done by the current leaseholder. And when I realized that they took over it towards the end of the lease, that also explains to me why they wouldn't make an investment until they had a new lease. And we see this a lot in different things, whether it's in our solid waste department with our landfill operators or our trash hauler contracts, that in order for there to be a sizable investment, you have to guarantee the leaseholder a duration of time where they can amortize and recoup their investment. And so that answered a lot of the questions that I had on why those investments weren't made within the last 2 years. But when I did look at the investments that were made in the last 2 years, I'm not sure I would have spent that much money to do those knowing that the lease was coming up for renewal. So I'd like to thank you for putting together a longer term lease so that we can now know what's expected in terms of investment into it. I appreciate the due diligence that everybody has done on this item. I did have a question on the ABC license. Does that transfer with the RFP? If we were to go out for recommendation number 2 in an RFP, would the liquor license transfer? Or would it be possible that we would award an RFP to someone that then doesn't have access or availability to a liquor license, to the best of your knowledge?
I think I would defer to counsel and Luther on this because it's not my area of expertise.
Yeah, if you want, I could have Mark Wardloff, and he's in the audience, come up, but I can answer it because we've talked about this. I can give you my best, and if you need more, we can call him up.
Sure.
So I understand it's a Type 47 liquor license that allows beer, wine, and liquor to be served. That license doesn't necessarily automatically transfer. That would be at the discretion of the current operator and a future operator.
I don't understand why they're trying to get a liquor license for this park. I mean, I get it. It's all business stuff, but like, man, maybe it's because they haven't had consistent management. I don't know, but I think Supervisor Rao is actually doing a pretty good job at doing her research. I mean, that is her job, but let's continue.
To work out whether that would want to be transferred under some terms that they would come to agreement with. There is a process for a new operator to get a Type 47 liquor license in the state of California. I believe it's a lottery. If you want more, I'd
Thanking our Supervisor Cook for his look at this, and from my understanding, by us going out and doing this broker price opinion, we've actually got a better deal. Would you say, Terry, that with this new deal, that this is a good transaction for the county?
It's a market transaction that's supported by the broker opinion value. It's, valuing golf courses is not my area of expertise. So we did need to get the third-party professional, and it is a representative, supportable market deal as determined by those experts.
I understand a lot of the stuff that I'm not going to rehash it, but the chairwoman made some very valid points when it comes to investing and reinvesting into something, and being able to work through that and give the opportunity for the leasee to actually invest in this. So I think for me, it's really just making sure that we are getting a good value, and it sounds like we are. We're getting the fair market value that should have been generated. I think this is a good deal for
like,
the
is the
county.
whole
So
reason
wanna
that they
thank
had
the-
to like get the fair market value assessment of it, the BOV, did they have to do that because there was maybe this concern that maybe the Board of Supervisors were giving the current owner a better deal, I think? I don't know, that's kind of weird. If anyone has any thoughts on that, please comment.
Supervisor Cook for taking a stance in the last meeting to encourage us to make sure we're doing due diligence. That's all.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Oh
Of
man, I
course,
feel
I'm
like
the
we're all
dumbest
Paul
one
Cook
on
right
the
now.
panel here, so you can understand that. I grew up in an environment.
Paul Cook is a career, is a family. He said the Cook family apparently has been.
I've seen a lot of different things in city government. This is about 60,000 people back east that are the residents or what have you they wouldn't ballot. There wouldn't be a ballot. Well, I'm going to throw out the question: is should we have a ballot?
Oh man,
that's what we're.
Wow.
Well, I want a ballot because I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not.
What is going on here?
And it shows my stupidity.
So confused. I don't know. What is with all of a sudden, I've watched like 5 or like 6 Board of Supervisors meeting in a row on stream, and never before have they ever came to conclusions via ballots, and all of a sudden everything in this stream is done via ballot. Did something change that I don't know about? Like I don't know.
There's very, very sharp people out there. I'm just a dumb Marine, and the attorneys and everyone else, they go through the fine points, and you get somebody like Tom, and he says stuff that I don't understand, but at least I get a better understanding. So right now, I don't know, I'm probably the Lone Ranger, but I'm still very uncomfortable with it, and I'm wondering if, I'm saying I think I want a ballot. So you think
if that's possible, Supervisor Hagman.
Thank you. Thank you for all the comments from board members.
What?
And this is
Okay,
my first
finally.
week. And
Thank
what I want
you.
to say is this is not unusual. We have had many of our park vendors, when this Calico goes down, Live Nation at DeVore, and other places where we go in. And the problem is with the short-term leases is we see this at Chino Airport and other county assets. When the lease comes to the end,
Marcella,
the
you need to
current
leave
leaseor
Supervisor
doesn't
Cook
invest into the
alone.
upkeep
He is
of
our
the
hero
facilities.
doing the
And
work.
we usually inherit back something that's
He said he's going to make
not
San
to the
Bernardino
standards
County
that we would
great
like as a
again.
county. So we do this quite often. We go tell the staff, hey, is there a current market rate deal? We're not here to do anything besides provide recreation activities on our parks for our residents and make sure they're upkeep. On Prado Park alone, we have a boat vendor. We have a kitchen, the dock cafeteria. We have the horses. We have the shooting range. We have the archery range, all by different vendors. And we see if they're making, and what they're there is for the public good, to have the public have facilities to go utilize and to maintain it. When the leases come due, and this was happened to the previous administration, this golf course, they weren't making it, they weren't putting the money back into it. And it is embarrassing for the county right now in the facilities upkeep. Any investor is going to need a ROI on their investment to make sure they put the money back into it. And Terry, I was going to ask you, is this deal, make sure capital improvements, so we're gonna bring it up to our standards, including with, I believe it's gonna be shut down here in July if we don't get the parking lot done because of insurance, if I'm not mistaken.
The capital improvements are a requirement in the lease, primarily focused on the upgrades and repair and maintenance to all the deferred maintenance that was, really caused by the previous operator and deteriorated over time. And
Man,
so
who
we made
who
that,
was the
a
previous
requirement
operator?
in
I
the
feel
first
like it was the
24
guy
months.
that
And
we
we've
were
done that a
just
few times
David.
with other, at least in my
what
community,
was
my
his name?
district, for
David
the airport
Quayman.
and other lease continuation.
Because I feel like he
We
has
do
such
that
a vendetta
we do that
against
currently
Kurt
with our
Herb,
concert
against
provider
Kurt
in Devore.
Hagman.
You got to put so much capital improvement in if we're going to continue your lease, and we make sure that's the best thing. But the reality is, this is for the use of the residents, and to make sure we have up-to-date facilities. And yeah, I'm concerned about the continuation of golfing, or just keep it open if we don't have the continuation of, extended lease on that. That's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? All right, seeing none, I will make a recommendation to move. I will make a recommendation that we move staff's recommendation number 1 to amend and extend the revenue sublease agreement with El Prado Development.
I will second that.
Thank you for the motion or the second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Thank you very much.
Wait,
Thank you,
Paul
Madam Chair.
Cook said
With
he's not
that,
opposed.
recommendation
What happened
number
to
1
wanting
is
a ballot?
approved,
I'm so
with
confused.
Supervisor Cook voting nay.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
no,
Now
he
we
voted
move
no.
on to our general public comment.
And it
This
went
is
through.
for items that
Mr. Oh, I already deleted his page. I'm sorry. Mr. David Koyman, I guess you're not going to get to be able to run Prado Park, but it seems like you have a lot of other things too. So,
that we have not heard on today's agenda. I have a number of requests to speak. First, we will begin by
we
Matt
might not look through all these
Zoder.
requests
I
to
apologize
speak.
if I'm
It
mispronouncing
seems
your
like a
last
lot of the
name,
same.
Followed by David Quayman.
Oh, David Koyman again. Oh, there he goes.
Yes, you got that correct. Thank you. Good morning, supervisors. I had
Wait,
the
what was this
privilege of
guy's name?
Followed by David Quayman.
Matt Zoder.
Yes, you got that correct. Thank you. Good morning, supervisors. I had the privilege of working at El Prado for several years and have firsthand knowledge of the management group that you just voted to give a long-term lease, assuming the Army Corps of
Excuse me,
Engineers
sir.
approved.
This is for items not on today's agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have anything to say that's not pertaining to anything that we've already heard?
Negative.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Nope,
you.
sorry,
Next up,
buddy.
David Quayman,
He
followed
got-
by Loretta Hunter.
Okay, David
So I own a
Koyman.
house in Ontario, California in the 4th District.
Okay,
I wanted to sell
he is
that
a
and
resident.
move out of state, and I hired an appraiser who was just one person with one opinion. One opinion. Would I call my real estate agent and say, hey, we're good. You know what? We don't need to list this property to see what someone's willing to pay for it, that I put a lot of money into it, that I did it. To get fair market value, I would put it out to market to see what someone's worth paying for. Everyone knows that. That's how it works in the private sector. I don't know why that's not how it works here. You
This
need
is
to go
government,
out to
buddy.
bid to see what someone's willing to pay for it.
How
Everyone
much are
knows
you
that.
willing to pay for it?
I'm sorry. We all know that this is to Agenda 91. I respectfully will point out, but we are not finished here.
Thank you very
Supervisors, you
much.
made the wrong decision today.
Wow,
Loretta
is
Hunter,
he
followed
mad
by
that they
Eric
didn't
Fitz.
choose him to buy the park, to
Oh, I can't
sublease
pronounce
the
it.
park?
Fix?
Hello, my name is Loretta Hunter. I'm here because I wanted to speak to this board members to stop a tax sale that's been unfairly put on a property located in
Oh,
your
no,
county.
we can't do this.
That
Wait, who is this
I'm going
guy?
to agree with Dave that
Hold on, I
know-
need to see if this guy works for the company. He has gray beard and gray hair. No, I do not see anyone.
one broker opinion of value is just one person, but when you open it up to the market, that's the true opinion of value is what the market will pay. So I'm going to agree with Dave on this, and I know we can't speak on the other issues, but That's a true market value, not just one person.
Thank you, Dr. Regina Stell, followed by Dr. Gail Grayson.
All right. Let's see. If we don't have any more thing interesting, we're going to move on to the next thing because we're almost at an hour and a half time here.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Stell, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. I'm going to defer to my Madam President. I didn't know she was going to be here.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Gail Evans Grayson, the chapter president for
Grayson.
Inland Valley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Good morning, Madam Chair, honorable supervisors, county, staff, and members of the public. As we stand here today representing our chapters and the collective voice of our members across San Bernardino County, we would like to take this opportunity for the continued support that we have received from our Board of Supervisors. I want to take a moment to personally recognize
award-winning Pomona Valley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma.
Oh my gosh, what is a sorority?
She was lying. That's why I was. Good morning, Colonel Cook. Pleasure, sir. I'm also a service member. Unfortunately, on Thursday, May 1st, my attorney told me that the state or the county CFS is taking my children from me. I came in with 50-50 custody.
Oh,
now the
no.
mother is getting 100%, and
I
I'm
don't
being
think we can
erased.
cover
Not because I
this.
heard and made a lack of evidence. The mother was ready for this weekly.
Ranjaragan, who will be followed by Jane
morning.
Hunt-Rubel.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Usha, and I'm here to advocate for my 34-year-old son with a diagnosis of schizophrenia. His symptoms started at 19 during his third year.
I don't think we can look at this either. Sorry, it's not political per se. All right, I just don't want to cover it.
Good morning,
And
board
I don't think I
members.
want to cover this lady
I
either
hope
because
it's
she
going
always be
morning.
talking at every board of supervisor
Yeah,
meeting.
you know, lips. I had no voice in it.
In the case of the state
And
of
same with
California
this
versus
gentleman.
Joseph
He's
Moulton,
at every board of supervisor meeting. He's got to say something.
problem solving, all of which have taught me valuable things. The studies from GovDance.
All right, so
But how can a person in the shoes of your clients possibly believe?
hold on. This
Best,
lady
it was
just
a
took
pleasure
out
to meet with you. Thank you very much. Karen Reich.
Karen Reich. What is her deal?
Good morning. I suffer from a condition called spasmodic dysphonia.
Oh, okay, that's
so
why she was
if I could, I'd like
couldn't
to
talk
let
for
this
her.
recording do my speaking for me. I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
We have to take the facts as they're pleaded in the light most favorable. So, we're not trying the case. But how can a person in the shoes of your clients possibly believe that it was appropriate to use perjury and false evidence in order to impair somebody's liberty interest in the continued care, custody, and
so
control of
confused.
that person's children? How could they possibly not be on notice that you can't do that?
I understand the.
How could that possibly be?
I understand the argument that it seems to be common sense and our ethical.
It's more than common sense. It's statutes that prohibit perjury and submission of false evidence in court cases.
State statutes.
Are you telling me that
what does this
person
have
in your
to do
client's
with?
shoes couldn't understand you can't commit perjury in a court proceeding in order to take somebody's children away?
Of course not.
Oh, is this in relation to
Is the
the?
case over then? And the case is over.
Because.
Costanich is distinguishable.
Case closed.
Okay. All right. They probably let her finish her 3 minutes. All right. So, real quick, let me take some notes on that, and not let me take some notes on that. We just need to know that we need to look into this Prado Regional Park thing a little bit more. All right. Okay. So next thing I wanted to cover is this SB 800, which I think it is a Senate bill, a California State Senate bill. Here we go. So came across on, let me take a note of this real quick so that way I don't lose this. Chino Valley Champion. Okie dokie. That was great. All right. Let me go to my Instagram real quick because I wanted to go to. Yes, sister, you are right. It is divorced dad energy. That man was 100% divorced dad energy. All right. So I wanted to go to a little post that I saw from California State Senator Eloise Gomez Reyes. And it's talking about, the post says, please join me in thanking my colleagues for on the Senate Transportation Committee for their unanimous support of SB 800. The rising number of, I don't think I can say that word, but it's unaliving. The rising number of unalivement attempts and incidents from freeway overpasses is not only profoundly tragic for individuals and families, but also for serious public safety concerns and for motorists, first responders, and the broader community. All right. So it seems like the city of Rancho Cucamonga and the senator had partnered together on this thing called SB 800, and I think SB stands for Senate Bill. The Highway Emergency Life Protection Program, HELP, Highway Emergency Life Protection Program. In partnership with the City of Rancho Cucamonga, SB 800 requires Caltrans to establish a program to install unalivement deterrents on the 10 freeway overpass in the county of San Bernardino. So I think this is going back to a story. I don't think I covered it on stream, but it might have just happened right before I started streaming regularly, where I think it was someone unalived, and it was on a freeway overpass in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. So I wanted to go and take a little look at this. So we're going to start by watching the Senate Transportation Committee's, I guess, meeting. And this is California State Senate. Hopefully they do not do prayers and awards at the beginning of these meetings. I don't think they do.
Are you prepared, Senator Cervantes? Okay, that's terrific. And so we're going to start off then with item 3, SB 800, which is a Reyes bill.
Perfect timing.
And Senator Cervantes is presenting. Please begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair and committee members, for the opportunity to present Senate Bill 800 on behalf of Senator Reyes. AB 800 establishes a pilot program requiring Caltrans to install suicide deterrents on 10 freeway overpasses in San Bernardino County. In the past 6 months, there have been multiple suicides and attempts along the overpasses of the 210 freeway in the San Reyes district. While any suicide attempt is a serious cause of concern, one particular incident stood out as especially heartbreaking. Within just a week and a half, her community experienced a devastating loss of 2 high school students, both of whom tragically took their life at the same location. This string of losses not only left families and friends in profound grief, but also shook the entire community, sparking conversation about mental health support and urgent needs to resources to help young people in distress. The impact of these tragedies were felt deeply, highlighting the importance of addressing the challenges that students do face today. These incidences underscore the urgent need for intervention. No family, school, or community should have to endure such unimaginable grief. Addressing this issue is complex, and there is no single solution to preventing these tragedies. Having this crucial infrastructure in place is an important step in the right direction. Here to testify in support of this bill is Mina Frutan, sister of one of the victims, and Rancho Cucamonga Mayor Pro Tem Lynn Kennedy.
Hey, Lynn
Whichever
Kennedy, I
one of
got
you
to
would like
meet
go
her.
first, that would be fine. You'll have a couple minutes each.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, Honorable Chair Cortese and members of the Senate Transportation Committee. Thank you for taking the time to consider SB 800, and thank you to Senator Gomez-Reyes for sponsoring this important bill. I am Christine Scott, a council member in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, and I'm here in strong support of SB 800.
Never mind. I guess we're
because
not
in
going to
Rancho
see Lynn
Cucamonga,
Kennedy.
we're not talking about policy. We're talking about lives we've lost and lives we're still trying to save. In the past 6 months alone, there have been 4 suicides and 5 additional attempted suicides from freeway overpasses in Rancho Cucamonga. 2 of those lives were high school students, lost just a week and a half apart from the same overpass in our city. These tragedies continue to reverberate across our community. Their names, their futures, their families are etched in the heart of our city, and they are not alone. When we talk about crisis response, our city acts. Rancho Cucamonga has mobilized our police department, behavioral health partners, and engaged community members to remain vigilant and respond swiftly. In fact, it was this coordinated crisis response that helped save 2 young lives just last week. But we know we can't rely on timing and luck to be on our only safety net. For the last several months, we have reached out to Caltrans, urging for more meaningful action, barriers, signage, anything they could prevent more deaths. Unfortunately, despite our continued outreach, little progress has been made. This is why this bill is not only necessary, but urgent. SB 800 creates a pilot program to install suicide deterrents on 10 high-risk freeway overpasses in San Bernardino County. These life-saving measures, whether physical barriers, signage, or both, will protect not only those in crisis, but also the motorists and first responders impacted by these events. SB 800 is how we say, you are not alone, and your community is fighting for you. It's how we help someone hold on just long enough for help to arrive. And it's how we prevent another family from experiencing the unimaginable. On behalf of Rancho Cucamonga, I urge your full support. Let's be the difference. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Mina Frutan, the sibling of one of the students who died by suicide.
All right. Before we let that sibling speak, I wanted to just read another Daily Bulletin article on the story. All right. Second, Rancho Cucamonga teen spurs more conversations around love and support. Connor Furtan is the second Los Osos high school student to unalive themselves this September. Another Rancho Cucamonga teen has unalived themselves on the 210 freeway near the Haven overpass, officials said. I'm so sorry to share tragic news with you regarding a fellow Grizzly. Los Osos Principal Eric Cipher said in a message to schools families early Thursday. We have learned that this early morning, a senior and beloved Grizzly, Connor, has passed away. Connor was involved in drama and choir. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family as they grieve. Yeah, totally, Marcella. It's so sad because it's like these are kids just like us, kids that have grown up in Rancho and have, this is the bullying and just not feeling safe as a teenager is nothing new. Although I don't know the certain specific circumstances behind Connor and the other kids, but it's like, I can't imagine how hard it was, or how hard of a decision it was to make that. Okay. Comes almost 2 weeks after another unalive attempt from Los Osos. Emily Gold, 17, unalived herself on September 13th at the same location on Friday. On Friday, the San Bernardino County Sheriff Department confirmed that a second person had on the same Haven Avenue overpass but did not release a name. And then we later found out it was Connor, I think. Ranch Cucamonga has been here before. At the start of the 2018 and 19 school year, 4 students, including 3 Chaffee Joint Union High School District students, which I mean, that's Chaffee Joint Union High School is the one that's the district for Los Osos High School and I think like Cucamonga High School, Alta Loma High School. I think that's all of the high schools in the area. And one Alta Loma Elementary School district unalived themselves in August 2018. That's awful. The Alta Loma Elementary School district is like not high school. It's kindergarten through like 7th grade or something like that. So yeah, this is definitely not a happy thing. The city of Rancho Cucamonga doesn't keep track of how often people unalive themselves at an overpass, according to spokesperson Jennifer Camacho Curtis. It's been at least 10 years since the last unalivement at that spot. Before this month, she wrote in an email. As part of our ongoing commitment to the safety and mental health of our residents, we want the community to know we have begun the process of reaching out to Caltrans to explore ways to make the overpass in question safer. Camacho Curtis continued, our goal is to prevent similar tragedies from happening in the future. Jimmy Deanna Matthias, who had 2 sons who attend Los Osos, organized a prayer walk Friday, bringing together parents and community members to pray for the 2. We might not have all the answers, but we can talk to a God who does, said Deanna. She has been impressed with how the school districts have responded. It's sad as blah, blah, blah. Okay, they just interviewed her more. According to the CDC, in 2021, suicide was the second leading cause among Americans between the ages of 10 and 14. The third leading cause of death between 15 and 24. That matches Los Angeles area trends. The number of dropped in 2020 in Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties compared to the 4 years prior. On April 22nd, Southern California News Group analysis of the coroner's data showed, but those drops were almost entirely among adults. The number of minors unaliving themselves typically is in the single or double digits each year, rose in Los Angeles, Orange, and San Bernardino County during the first year of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, yeah, I know the pandemic was really hard for a lot of people. I can't even imagine for teenagers. According to a September 2019 Southern California News Group analysis, 18% of California high school students had contemplated in the past year in line with national averages. The Chaffee District is part of the roughly 30% of California public school districts that do not participate in the California School Climate, Health, and Learning surveys that the analysis was based on. That's weird. Why don't they participate in that? Southern California school districts that have shown dramatic success in lowering the number of students considering in the Southern California News Group. Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right. San Bernardino County Supervisor Jesse Armendariz, who represents Rancho Cucamonga, held a 2-hour emergency meeting Friday with officials from the Chaffee District, Sheriff's Department, and other agencies. The biggest thing that came out of this is the lack of funding for mental health in education. They just don't have the resources, Armendariz says. We owe it all to these kids to make sure they have the resources. The county's Department of Behavioral Health Office of unalivement prevention will be holding a unalivement prevention training. This is a long time ago. All right. One of the biggest messages we're going to give that it's okay to not be okay, she said. Okay. And of course, if this is anything that is on your mind, here are the appropriate resources to, ever, reach out to that. I'm going to paste that in chat real quick. All right. Just in case. Oh, I can't actually text in chat here. Never mind. Okay. Wow. All right. So yeah, I was going back to the live stream of that we got a little bit background on it. I kind of want to point out how Supervisor Armendariz said the biggest thing that came out of that 2-hour emergency meeting he had is the lack of funding for mental health in education. All right. So we're acknowledging that mental health is a problem that is way broader than something than just building more fences or putting plaques up at the overpasses, so I want to see how many overpasses they're going to put up or
in October of 2024.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Chair Cortese and members of the Senate Transportation Committee. Thank you for taking the time to consider SB 800, and thank you to Senator Gomez-Reyes for sponsoring this important bill. My name is Mina, and I'm the sister of Shireen Connor-Furutan. Less than 8 months ago, the entire Rancho Cucamonga community was shaken when Emily Gold, a student at Los Osos High School, died by suicide, jumping from a freeway overpass. Not even 2 weeks later, another Los Osos student died the same way. That second student was my sibling, Shireen. Words cannot even begin to describe the immense pain that my family has carried since then. Shireen was a talented artist who was involved in theater tech, very funny, and immensely caring. Shireen had dreams and hopes for the future, but on September 26th of 2024, those dreams came to an end. Those first few days were a nightmare that I wouldn't wish upon anybody. My parents were inconsolable, and I was in disbelief. And now, every single day on my drive to school, I pass under the bridge where Shireen died. And every single day, I'm reminded of how wonderful Shireen's life could have been. When multiple suicides happen in a community in a closer time or space than you would expect, it's called a suicide cluster. This situation is a textbook example of a suicide cluster. Because when suicides happen in such public ways, such as jumping off a bridge, it can often trigger other suicides. However, SB 800 is trying to combat this phenomenon. There is evidence that signs and barriers can prevent suicide. Suicide is usually an impulsive action, and anything that can interrupt that can save a life. Before Shireen died, I drove by that bridge and I cried, thinking about the girl who had jumped just a few days prior. I had never met her, I never knew her story, but the impact of what happened that night stayed with me. And sometimes when I try to imagine the night Shireen died, I think about the cars that were driving below that had to witness Shireen's death without any warning. Not only must it have been traumatic, it is also dangerous, because what would have happened if a car had swerved from the shock or had suddenly braked? Suicides done like this can unintentionally put others in danger as well. I also think about the first responders who were called out at 1:30 in the morning, the ones who tried their best to stop a 17-year-old from jumping and who failed. I wonder how that night has stayed with them.
Terrible.
The toll it's taken, doing everything that you can and still losing someone so young. My dad has put together a petition in support of SB 800. It currently has over 400 signatures from members of our community. This isn't just our family's grief, it's a shared call to action. SB 800 isn't just a gesture. It's not just thoughts and prayers. It offers real, tangible tools that could have benefited Shireen and that will benefit many others. Please pass this bill and give others what Shireen didn't get: a sign, a barrier, and a moment to pause and to choose to live. Thank you.
I thank you for your testimony, and in case anyone doesn't have a chance to say it, our deepest condolences on behalf of the committee. we're going to pause and establish a quorum so we can actually vote on the bill, and we'll ask the assistant to do that at this time. Thank you.
Senators Cortese?
Here.
Cortese here. Strickland?
Here.
Strickland here. Archuleta? Araguin? Here. Araguin here. Blakespear? Cervantes?
Here.
Cervantes here. Daly?
Here.
Daly here.
All right,
Gonzalez?
it looks like they're voting
Grayson?
on it now.
Grayson here.
I mean, I
Limon,
know that it
Menjivar,
already
Richardson?
passed.
Here. Richardson here. Sayarto? Here. Sayarto here. Umberg? Valladares?
Exposition, please.
Mr. Chair, Senators, my name is Dennis Michael, Mayor for the City of Rancho Cucamonga, and on behalf of myself and our over 170,000 residents, we ask for your support of this piece of legislation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Senators and members of the committee, John Gillison, City Manager for Rancho Cucamonga, here on behalf of the Coast Specialized Mental Health
really
Team
flew up to
that we
Sacramento.
set up in response to this to help provide some additional resources in the future. And
I
I'm
just
here
don't
in
understand
support
why
of
the
this
city
bill.
can't put
Thank
up
you.
signs on their own. I mean, I know it's like,
Elissa Cox in support of this on behalf of the Rancho Cucamonga Fire Prevention District.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Chair and Senate Transportation Committee. My name is Hope Velarde. On behalf of Healthy Rancho Cucamonga and the schools and the youth there, we are in support of SB 800.
Nora Angeles with Children Now in support.
All right, thank you. We'll move to opposition now. I do not believe we have a lead opposition witness, or do we? Do we have a lead opposition witness? No. Do we have anyone in the room who wishes to come forward and express opposition? Seeing none, we'll come back to the committee now for discussion. Senator Sayarto.
Thank you. You know, every once in a while we get bills that have nothing to do with partisan politics, and this is one of those bills. It's an easy support, and sorry for your loss. That's terrible, and I remember reading about this and how horrible that was. So anyway, thank you for your bravery and courage today to come and testify before this committee. I can't imagine it not passing.
Senator Richardson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I also wanted to thank you for your testimony. When I was in high school and then going as a freshman to college, which was a lot more years ago than yours, I had a friend of mine, Gabrielle Wong, and we were students at UCLA, and she had never gotten a grade less than an A, and she got a C on a midterm and jumped off of an overpass, and I'll never forget that. So I commend the author for actually bringing this forward. I commend you telling your story. I'm a believer, and I'm sure your sister is smiling on you with the effort that you're taking today. So thank you very much. And I'll move the bill when appropriate, sir.
All right. Thank you, Senator.
Oh, wow.
Senator Grayson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to both for your testimonies, especially for your bravery, your courage, and especially your voice coming forward. This is, of course, a problem in Rancho Cucamonga, but it's also a problem all over the state wherever there's an overpass, and would love to be able to be added as a co-author at the right time and fully support your effort. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions at this time? Seeing none. Thank you very much for bringing the bill forward on behalf of Senator Reyes. Senator Cervantes, obviously a tough and emotional bill to present. We appreciate the fact that you are willing to do that, and we can have you close at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just on behalf of the families, this critical infrastructure is so important that we have in place. We believe it's a step in the right direction, and respectfully ask for your aye vote on SB 800.
All right, thank you. Senator Richardson offered a motion, so we will go with that, and we'll ask the assistant to call the roll at this time.
The motion is due pass to the Committee on Appropriations. Senators Cortese?
Aye.
Cortese, aye. Strickland?
Aye.
Strickland, aye. Archuleta? Araguin?
Aye.
Araguin, aye. Blakespear? Cervantes?
Aye.
Cervantes, aye. Daly?
Aye.
Daly, aye. Gonzalez? Grayson?
Aye.
Grayson, aye. Limon? Menjivar? Richardson?
Aye.
Richardson, aye. Sayarto?
Aye.
Sayarto, aye. Umberg? Valladares?
All right, that bill is 8 ayes, 0 noes. We have to leave it on call for the absent members. They'll come in and vote as they get here. And again, we appreciate you being here in every way. So thank you so much. Sorry we had a late start today, long 4 session. And I extend that apology to everyone who's here today. Thank you again. Safe travels. Mr. Chair, can I move the consent calendar at this time? Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, I guess that was it then. No real explanation on the bill and like what's gonna happen. It just was a story that was shared and they voted on it. Okay. I wish I could find more information on this, but that's about it. So I was hoping to see on Google Maps if the freeway overpasses were actually had the updated whatever, and it doesn't look like it. I guess I'll have to go in person to check it out to see how it was beefed up, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's just a pathetic fence and a guardrail, you know. It's not like even these little grates are, like that they're not that it's just a basic fence. It really is. And I don't know why it wasn't thought of in the when these were being built, because literally all the freeway overpasses look like this. Here, let's go onto the freeway. I love Google Street View so much. It's just so useful. I'm sure once they make, maybe we need to not go this way. There we go. Maybe in the future when you're able to use the Apple Vision Pro thing, you could actually really, really get detailed. But okay, yeah. So anyways, you see, it's just a basic bridge. And if you're familiar with the 210, you know that it's, that basically all these bridges look the same. And I don't even want to imagine, but you see right here, it's like the whole 210 freeway is, under not underground, but partially, so that's why all of these overpasses, so that way the freeway wouldn't affect any of the normal flow of traffic on those streets. But yeah, the overpasses are not secure at all, and I mean they are literally all like that. So here, hold on, let me go down to, let's go to, there we go, and we want to look this way. See, here is overpass in the city of, I think this is Fontana. It's Adler, the Adler overpass. Like, this is even, it's just, they're so open. And I mean, it looks like it isn't like a height thing, but it's 4 lanes of cars. And if you ever have been on the 210 freeway, it's busy all the time. Like any of the other freeways in California, they're always having, people are constantly on them. So, it's a disaster waiting to happen. So, I don't know. I commented on her post trying to ask a little bit more information. And no response yet. I said, "Oh no, it is only adding more fence to the freeway overpasses, and only 10 of them throughout San Bernardino County. Are they going to all be in Rancho?" I don't know. We didn't get an answer to that. I was really hoping that they would explain a little bit more, but maybe that's something that Caltrans has to do. So I don't know. But yeah, so that was great for, what was her name, Cervantes or something like that. Yeah, it's just, I wish I had more information. I mean, the older sister of one of the victims is totally right. You know, having a pause does help, you know, because it's a pause. But at the end of the day, I feel like mental health should be addressed in what it means in health. This isn't necessarily a transportation issue. This is a mental health issue. And while, yes, she made a great point in saying that there are some studies that say that, you know, having those signs or those deterrents will bring down the actual success people have when attempting to, you know, not live anymore. That could make the difference. But I just can't help but wonder, you know, what more can be done, and if this one bill will be the end of it. You know, is the senator gonna continue fighting further? Is there any other things, like is Las Osas High School or Chaffee Joint Chaffee Joint Union School District, are they gonna, you know, invest more into mental health? Because, well, I guess I should also disclose that I was a former student of Chaffee Joint Union High School District. I went to Alto Loma High School in Rancho Cucamonga. I did not go to Las Osas. I guess we were rivals. I don't know. I did not really care about that. But it's like, I remember growing up as a teenager there, and this was in the in the mid 2010s. You know, we were having the same problems that it seems like kids are having now. It just has gotten worse, I think, for a lot of kids because of the extremely online lives that people live now. You know, everything happens on social media. So, I mean, yes, this is great, and I'm sure it's probably not going to cost a lot, you know, especially if Caltrans is the one paying for it. You know, it's not like it's coming directly out of Cucamongan's, you know, pockets. But I don't know. It just seems, I wish there was more substance than this. That's my one critique of this bill. And I wish it was honestly more than just 10 overpasses. Because again, how there's like at least 3 freeways. Well, no, there's like 5 freeways that run through the Inland Empire. So, oh man, I don't want to dox myself. We're gonna get off the maps real quick. IE freeways. Because I mean that's including Riverside too. Southern California freeways, thank you. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. All right, so zoom in a little bit more. Okay. Let's start with oh man, this is an old picture. It doesn't even have okay. So we got the 210, we got the 10, we got the 60, we got the 91, we got the 71, we got the 15, we got the 215. Okay, so that's a lot. And it's like, you know, if you've driven anywhere in Southern California, there's overpasses galore. There's that, you know, there's that like one big ginormous stack of overpasses, and I mean not all of them are accessible to you know, to pedestrians, but you know, it's a way bigger issue than just having signage will fix. But yeah. All right. We already hit the 2-hour mark, and it is Friday night. So, I'm happy that I was able to stream, and I was happy that we were able to cover these 2 subjects, as they were really important. I'm so glad that the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors actually streamed again. I don't know what was up with them not being, around for the past few weeks, but I'm glad they came back and did something. So, all right, everyone, go ahead and drop your goodbyes in the chat. Please make sure to subscribe. If y'all have been seeing some of my short clips that I've released, those have been popping off. I plan to release more, but I am just a one-woman show here, with a couple of support of some close friends of y'all in the chat. Thank you for being there. I really appreciate you. But we got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm in my last 2 weeks of the semester, so I will probably not be able to stream as much as I would like to, but good news is that after the semester is over, I will be streaming all the time. But yeah, so be on the lookout for new content, new shorts, hopefully some cut together videos. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of the night. I'm sorry, I need to play outro songs. Although they sound like, there we go. This sounds like an outro song. Okay. All right. So yeah, Board of Supervisors, check. What else did I cover? Good night, Marcella. Have a good one. Everyone, sleep well. It is 10 o'clock Friday night. I will be back maybe Sunday. If not, it'll be next week then. All right. Everyone have a good one.